These statistics will provide an idea of the effectiveness of road safety measures during one of the busiest periods of the year. These statistics offer an early insight into the impact of the country's road safety awareness campaigns and help identify trends and areas needing immediate attention. Let's now speak to SABC News reporter Nozintombi Mia, who is joining us live. Nozintombi, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Tell us what.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eldrin. Where we are standing right now, we're standing just meters away from the Villiers Toll Plaza that heads into the Free State province. And I'm going to step out of shot just to show you what we are seeing just now, just moments away. The minister's cavalcade literally just made its way here to the location. But I think what you can see is that it is, in fact, it's actually continuing. This actually looks like this is the minister's cavalcade on this direction, where you can see these black cars coming through. You can see that this looks like it is actually the minister's cavalcade. We understand that the minister herself is coming from Durban after an event that just took place in this area. And we do understand that the minister is going to be giving a proper briefing about what is expected to happen today. And these midterm statistics are so important, Eldrin, because it gives them an insight into what is expected to happen on Gauteng's roads and how they are going to respond promptly, fastly, quickly to the hotspots that are developing as and when they develop throughout this festive season, Alton. But I think you can see there behind me that it is high activity. The minister's motorcade has just made its way here. The traffic heading into Villiers. If you're heading into Villiers now, heading down towards the Durban area, please make sure you take your time, you calm down. There is a lot of traffic. On our way here, we saw several incidents of road rage. And this is the issue that the minister is going to be addressing. People's lack of patience on the road, people speeding, people not having respect for each other on the road. And these are really, really important things that cause and contribute to minor accidents. And we will be crossing to you just now as soon as the briefing starts. It's about to start imminently. I'm being told by her people that the briefing is about to start imminently. So we're going to hand back to you in studio, Eldrin, so that we can quickly set up and we can dip in and hear what she says. But the biggest concern that we are seeing on the road right now, the speeding, the lack of patience, and just the sheer road rage that is coming out. And that is very, very concerning. Eldrin. You know what live facility we're on, okay? Just watch, ne?
And then the CEO, of course, of the RTMC that you know very well is the Advocate Msibi. So the Minister is going to take us through the statement, and thereafter we'll, of course, allow a question and answer session. Minister, when you are ready, we are all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Msibi, the Chief Director responsible for communication in the Department of Transport. Let me welcome and acknowledge the presence of MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison in Mpumalanga Province, Honorable Bruce Shongwe, the Director General of the Department of Transport, Advocate James Mlau, RTMC CEO, Advocate Makosini Msibi, senior managers from the Department of Transport, our provincial governments, state-owned entities, and in particular the Road Traffic Management Corporation, the private sector that has joined us, members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to extend a very warm welcome to all who have set aside this day in the middle of the festive season all share a life.
To the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga is not stable, so we'll try to go back there a bit later on. And also our reporter, we have our reporter there. That is Nozintombi Mia, who is, of course, following up on this press briefing with the Minister of Transport. So we'll go there a bit later on and get some analysis.
% reduction in fatalities by the end of the MTEF in 2024. This in turn will assist us to meet the United Nations Decade of Action target of a 50% reduction by the year 2030. The targets that each province must attain in this festive season are as follows. KwaZulu-Natal, they have to reduce by 19.48%. Gauteng expected to reduce by 35%. Eastern Cape, its target is 18.6%. Limpopo, its target is 35.6%. Western Cape, its target is 51.8%. Mpumalanga, its target is 39.7%. Northwest, its target is 40.1%. Free State, its target is 30%. And Northern Cape, its target is 61.9%. The targets we set are based on the performance of provinces in the previous years, and we agreed to be relevant with the relevant authorities. They sound very ambitious, but why not? Because our people must not die simply because it is festive season. As a matter of fact, we could set a target of 100% of targets, but of course we know that people do make mistakes. The plan also identified 5 priority provinces that contribute about 80% of road fatalities year after year. These provinces are KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Limpopo, Eastern Cape, and Western Cape. As we approach the end of the 3rd week of the 6 weeks campaign, our data shows that crashes and fatalities are increasing in 4 of these provinces. The Eastern Cape is the only one of the 5 provinces that has so far succeeded to reduce crashes and fatalities. However, the period ahead is going to be especially challenging in the holiday destinations because of expected increase in traffic, parties, festivities, weddings and traditional functions. From the 1st of December, we have put boots on the ground to implement the festive season plan. We undertook road safety education awareness campaigns in malls, taxi ranks, and at filling stations along the freeways, among others. We also rolled out campaigns with the private sector partners such as FNP, our organization Renault, Mahindra, Santam, and Holland, which boosted our efforts by providing tools of the trade to use in the monitoring of the implementation plans. Master Drive have been instrumental in training truck drivers on safe driving behavior. As a result, our law enforcement officers conducted 423 roadblocks nationally, in which 753,823 vehicles were stopped and checked. A total of 173,307 infringement notices were issued. 1,333 vehicles were discontinued. 2,619 vehicles were impounded. And 3,573 motorists were arrested for various offences. Drunken driving accounted for 1,114 arrests. The top 5 infringements were as follows. Speeding is at 40,025 notices that were issued. Driving without fastened seat belts accounted for 14,110 notices. Driving without a driving license, which accounted for 13,074 notices issued. Unlicensed vehicles accounted for 15,728 notices issued. Driving vehicles with smooth tires accounted for 8,597 notices being issued. The highest speed was recorded on the R21 in Gauteng, where a motorist was stopped while traveling at 206 kilometers per hour in a 120 kilometers zone. The highest alcohol content was recorded as Exodicha in the Eastern Cape, where a motorist recorded a breath alcohol concentration of 1.97 milligrams per 1,000 milliliters of breath. The legal limit, if we remind ourselves, is 0.24 milligrams per 1,000 milliliters of breath. This clearly indicates that the first half of our campaign has been marked by wanton lawlessness, intransigent attitude, and inconsiderate conduct by motorists in townships, by some motorists in townships, suburbs, and villages. Consequently, we have started to witness the emergence of a trend that gives us cause for concern as we enter the second half of the implementation of our campaign. The days ahead will be particularly challenging because of extraordinary long weekends over the Christmas and the New Year holiday period. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, it is worth noting that crashes have indeed decreased by 0.8% compared to the same period last year, leading to a 4.3% decline in fatalities. In total, 719 fatalities have been recorded in the first 3 weeks of the 2023-24 festive season, compared to 751 in the same period last year. And that therefore means that we have reduced the numbers by 32 fatalities, which is 32 dead bodies which we saved. The 2023 festive season road fatalities midterm statistic breakdown per province are as follows. Gauteng has recorded 187 fatalities, which is a 23.8% increase compared to last year, because last year they were at 151, which means that this year they've ended 34 dead bodies. Number 2 is Mpumalanga, which recorded 81 fatalities, which is a 6.6% increase compared to last year. And last year they were at 76, which therefore means that this year they are 5 fatalities up. Third is Limpopo, which has recorded 88 fatalities, which is the same as previous year. They were at this moment at 88. KwaZulu-Natal has recorded 135 fatalities, which is 6.3% decrease compared to last year, which then, because last year they were at 144 fatalities. Western Cape has recorded 76 fatalities, which is 1.3% decrease compared to last year. Last year they were at 77 and therefore they are down with 1 fatality. Eastern Cape has recorded 59 fatalities, which is 41% decrease compared to last year. Last year they were at 100 and therefore they've decreased by 41 fatalities, which is 41%. Free State has recorded 40 fatalities, which is 7% decrease compared to last year. Last year they were at 43 and therefore they've managed to save 3 bodies or human beings. Northwest has recorded 37 fatalities, which is 17.8% decrease compared to last year, which was 45, and therefore this year they've managed to reduce by 8 bodies or fatalities. Northern Cape has recorded 16 fatalities, which is 49.7% decrease compared to last year, which was 27%, and therefore this year they've managed to save 11 bodies. So it was actually 16 fatalities this year. It's 16 fatalities this year, and last year they were at 27 fatalities, and therefore they saved 11 fatalities, which is 49.7%, and that is Northern Cape. It has been clearing that those fatal crashes start increasing after hours from 19 to 20, 100 hours. That is from 7 to 8 in the evening, followed by 10 to 11 in the evening, and in the early hours of the morning between 1 and 2 in the morning. And there is now a new phenomenon, which is of course the emergence of crashes between 9 and 11 on unusual days such as Mondays and Tuesdays. Pedestrian fatalities continue to pose a daunting challenge as they remain a leading cause for our increased numbers of fatalities at 43.4%, followed by passengers at 29.5% and drivers at 26.3%, and of course cyclists at 0.9%. Fatalities per day of the week, we have seen Saturday accounting for 27.6%, Sunday accounting for 24.2%, and Friday accounting for 19.1%. Adding together, weekends are accounting for about 70.1% of all fatalities. And then of course, those they are followed by Monday at 8.8%, Wednesday at 7.4%, Tuesday at 7%, and therefore the safest day in South Africa during this festive season is Thursday, which recorded 5.8%. Put together, these 4 days they accounted for 29%. This is a cause for concern for all of us, particularly as we are approaching this long weekend. While a few crashes have taken place on hazardous routes identified in the festive season plan, most of them are spread out on suburbs, townships, and village roads falling within municipal boundaries. It is evident that we have a massive challenge on our hands as we enter the most critical part of the holiday travel and festivities in the coming long weekends. This coming weekend will start on the 22nd, which is today, up until the 26th of December, which actually says we have got 5 days of holidays. And of course, the next one, which is the New Year weekend, will start on the 30th of December and up until the 1st of January. We are concerned with this long weekend. I'm a Christian. I should be very happy about the Christmas weekend. Indeed, I will find time to go to church. However, we are so concerned about the heavy drinking that is happening, and therefore the many misbehavior that happen on our roads, particularly in the residential areas. This has necessitated that we adjust our law enforcement deployment plans to pay more attention in or to residential areas and after our operations leading to early morning. Law enforcement operations will be intelligence-led and directed at new emerging hotspots to deal with, among others, drunken driving as well as reckless and negligent driving. Particularly attention must also be paid to passenger overloading as well as buses that transport people. 3 out of 4 major crashes reported in this period involved overloaded buses. In one incident in Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape, the buggy had 15 occupants when it collided with another vehicle. 4 people in the buggy died and 11 were injured. In another incident in Gauteng, 6 occupants of a buggy died when the vehicle was involved in a head-on collision with a truck. In the 3rd major crash, 7 occupants of a Mazda 3 sedan died when the vehicle crashed into a truck. Again, overloading of passengers, inconsiderate driving, and alcohol use were factors in this collision. In another buggy incident in the Northern Cape, 10 occupants crashed into a side of a mountain and the driver had lost control. It is evident that we must take drastic measures to arrest this situation now before it gets worse. We know that we don't have sufficient personnel, but we are prepared to do everything possible to increase visibility of officers on the roads, address deviant driver behavior, public drinking, and we will enforce the law. Municipal traffic police will vigorously implement bylaws that discourage alcohol intake in parks, on pavements, and in public space to help reduce the number of pedestrians dying on the roads. I believe that we can bring the situation under control. It is possible. It can be done, working together with all South Africans. All we need is determination and strong will to do things differently, quicker, efficiently, and effectively. We will definitely not allow ourselves to be derailed from the path of saving the lives of our people on the roads. Road crashes serious injuries sustained teach us valuable lessons about life, that the lives of others on the road matters. And it is therefore important that we avoid reckless and selfish conduct on the road because our actions may very likely take away innocent lives. Equally important is to prevent accidents by staying present in a moment and focused wholly, which presupposes driver fitness. You cannot drink and drive. You will not be fit to drive. Ask others to help you so that you can stay alive and we can all stay alive. Without rest at regular intervals along a long journey, you can cause harm not only to yourself but others too. Take regular breaks and stay alive. Pedestrians, you cannot drink and walk on the road. Cross the road where there are markings. If none, for instance on gravel roads, take time and ensure that it is safe to cross the road. At night, as pedestrians, wear bright colored or reflector clothing. Always think about your safety. And I want to thank first our MECs from all the 9 provinces for their commitment to this a huge task. I want also to thank the DG of the Department of Transport who is also here with us even now, and ensuring that we reduce fatalities and fatal accidents on our roads. I want to thank RTMC, particularly the CEO and his team that are also leading this important task. Our traffic officers and their families for their sacrifice, we thank them. We thank all provinces, we thank all regions, districts and municipalities for ensuring that they ensure that our roads are safe. We thank other departments that are working with us. In this case, the Department of Health, Department of Police, Department of Tourism, CBRTA, Home Affairs, BMA, and others that I may have not mentioned. We thank all of them for their contributions. I thank you, South Africans, but also I thank the South African media for being part of this campaign, for availing your media houses for free airtime, and for spreading this gospel of road safety. We thank you very much, because you reach out to South Africans that without you, we may not reach out to. The private sector for participating in this campaign, we thank you. We saw even tertiary institutions this time around participating in this campaign. We thank them as well. I want also to thank the President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Ramaphosa, for supporting but also for encouraging us as we embark on this important task, which is ensuring that our people are safe on the roads. I thank all South Africans who are ensuring that our roads are safe. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister. Members of the media, you know the drill. We'll take questions. We'll take 3 sets of questions. I see SABC, Patricia.
The biggest culprit per province is Gauteng with 108 fatalities, which is a 23.8% increase compared to the same period last year, followed by KwaZulu-Natal at 135 fatalities. And of course, the Northern Cape, which is by landmass the biggest province, but when it comes to population, it is the smallest. There they have recorded 16 fatalities, which is the smallest number of fatalities, or the lowest number of fatalities, and accounting for a 49.7% decrease compared to last year. So that is the highest decrease that has been reported by the provinces, followed by the Eastern Cape, which has reported a 41% decrease. There have been 59 fatalities reported in that province. Well, those are some of the stats. A bit later on, we'll hear from Nozintombi Mia, so do stay tuned to the SABC News channel.
From News of Africa. Minister and Mr. Msibi, I've got a question with regards to the safety of motorists, especially in regards to end up hijacking or even robbing motorists along these roads. So in terms of safety measures from that perspective, what can motorists do in terms of protecting themselves? Is there a way that they can be able to identify a fake and a real police official, traffic official along the roads? But also the serious concern in terms of the provinces that have not registered
Minister will then direct where the questions should be answered, but we'll start with the Minister.
Thank you very much for the questions. My serious concern is that even if we're if it was according to me, we would not have people dying on the roads. If we have to, it would be 1 or 2 people, taking into account that we are human beings, we do. Is the fact that the majority of these accidents, they happen because of human behavior, the majority of them. So it's things that we can actually avoid and prevent. If we were to do things the right way, some of these accidents would not have happened. If we do not drink and drive, we will definitely reduce these accidents. If we do not speed on the roads, we observe the speed limits, but also we take into account the prevailing circumstances, we would reduce these accidents. If we do not drive cars that are unroadworthy, we would reduce these accidents. But now there is also a new term of unroadworthy drivers. People who are not supposed to drive cars and who probably are not, who are driving without valid licenses, who some will do as they wish. If we were to consider all those things, we'll reduce these accidents. So what keeps me awake at night is that family that has to receive this sudden news that somebody that you are waiting for to arrive at home is no longer going to arrive. Come and fetch them from this place because they are now at the mortuary. There is nothing that devastates a family such as such news. And that is what is keeping me awake at night. Can we change this? Indeed we can. Our people can just be patient, be prepared to do things the right way on the roads. We can drastically reduce these accidents. Somebody was actually saying the numbers that we are talking about here, the 719 just in 21 days. In other countries, they are not even for a year. In Sweden, for instance, they talk about 300 fatalities in a year. In South Africa, in just 3 weeks, we're talking about these numbers. We're not cursed. We can change this if we want to change it and know that we are sharing the road. So that is what is keeping me awake at night. Plan for disabled person. This is of course what we refer to access, comprehensive access to our public transport. We ensure that we speak to our taxi drivers or those that are providing public transport to ensure that they also provide that to our disabled people. We're not where we want to be, I must say, but we definitely are trying our level best. That is what we refer to as universal public transport access. We talk about it, we try to implement it, but the shortcomings about it is that the taxi is privately owned. Many of our buses, whether owned by big companies, they are privately owned. And maybe to provide those, it also calls for more money. But of course, it is something that we are preaching to say it has to be done and they must be accommodated. We also have a number of interaction with the taxi industry, particularly Santaco. And the rules of the road, they apply to all South Africans on an equal basis on the road. Coming to fake officials, and I want to believe that the CEO will also respond to that question. If you are stopped by a traffic officer, by law you are supposed to stop. When the traffic officer stops you, you are supposed to stop. But if for any reason you think that this person who is stopping me may necessarily not be a traffic officer, it might actually be a criminal, you may as well reduce the space and drive until it is safe for you to stop. If there is a garage nearby, drive to the garage. If there is a police station nearby, drive to the police station. Because by law, you are expected to stop when a traffic officer stops you. But if it is a fake traffic officer and you think that it's possible that it is a fake traffic officer, of course you've got to stop, but at a place where you think it is safe for you to stop. Provinces that have not done enough, I think it's 2 for now that have not decreased. As a matter of fact, I must say that the province of Mpumalanga has been below the figures in terms of statistics. It was just towards the so that we check on what the measures and the plans that we're putting in place to ensure that they reduce the numbers. Another province that is actually concerning us, even if the figures have actually been decreased, it is KwaZulu-Natal. If we look at the traffic figures right now that are towards KZN, they are actually saying we're going to have a number of people in the beaches of KZN, in the residential areas of KZN, and we've had a very close engagement to say to them which areas we must target, and we have identified those areas for visibility, but for activations, and therefore we will be there. Myself, I will also be joining. So there is a plan that is put in place, even for provinces that have recorded decrease. But we know that if we do nothing about it, particularly during this weekend, this very long weekend, I got married on the 26th on Tuesday in then 1989. It was on Tuesday, it has come back again. So for me, this long weekend means something, but it can definitely not mean death of people on the roads. But I will allow the NEC to add on what we have said.
Let me take this opportunity also to greet your department, as well as the CEO of RTMC, the DG of the department, and all the officials that have gathered here to support this particular operation, which is a joint operation amongst the 3 provinces, which is your Free State, KZN, Gauteng, then the 4th one is Mpumalanga. We have a plan as Mpumalanga out of what we have registered in terms of the increase of the fatalities. We have a joint operation in your N4 between ourselves and Gauteng. We also have a border management plan which we are monitoring your Libombo border as well as your Osho. We are also having a police visibility around the whole province, especially to the strategic roads that we are trying to focus on, which we think are problematic. One of them is R573, your N4, your N12, N17, your R40, N2, and your N11, R23, and so on. And we did have yesterday a joint program together with the taxi industry in the R23 close to Standard John to make sure that we address those particular challenges. But with the support, of course, of the Minister of Transport as well as RTMC, as Mpumalanga were proud and were sure that come this festive season and beyond, we are going to do better. Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you, Minister ABC. The matter of the fake traffic officers and police officers, it's not only the fake, but you also have within our midst those that are in duty and employed, however, receiving some no-time shenanigans. But what do you do as a motorist? One, we plead for vigilance. You need to be vigilant about your own security, and the Minister has touched on it. Drive to the nearest safe place, because you will not be charged for refusing to stop when given an hour. That it was not safe to do so at the place where I was stopped. So you need also to then deal with the area. The vigilance will then tell you which is the area where we are stopped. Is there any lighting? Is that an area that is so dark without any other lights? Because you need to identify the traffic officer or the police. All of them have appointment cards. It is your right to request from the traffic officer as well as from the police officer the identity card or the appointment card, so as to ensure that you have been stopped by a person who is of course legally entitled to do so. But with the areas that we have now seen in the cases that have been reported, we urge the public to move to a safe place where there will be lighting and identification of the officer. You will never be charged for refusing when given an account that it was not safe to do so at a particular place, because your safety, your life and your security reigns supreme more than any other thing. I think we covered that.
Okay, thank you, Minister. A second round of questions. I see EWM is here. Are you okay? Any other follow-up questions? So it's crystal clear. At this point, we'd like Minister to bring this press conference to an end, and also to say that, of course, with the activations that are going to happen, we will issue an alert to media so that we can be present in those activations. But of course, in terms of the statistics, there will be the final round, I think in January, CEO, if I'm correct, where then we'll then issue the final statistics. And of course, we'll inform you accordingly. Minister, I would like to thank you so much. Sorry? Yes, of course, we will arrange this essay to Hassan to facilitate the one-on-ones. I'm sure he has done that already, so we'll do that. Minister, thank you so much for your time. And thank you to the members of the media. You can just wait for the one-on-ones. Thank you.
loo nkqubo leyo. Sabe sikhangela i-artist kunjani nje sasifuna ukuganda-ganda wemvumekazi ezawuthi ishukumise. Suke uTK Nciza athi kuthi